Hello, hello. Testing. Oh, gods. Excuse me. I just ate. I feel so full. And we're back at the very start. That's
Come out and
unfortunate.
face me, Risley!
Hold on.
What did you do to my sister?
I ran into the young miss at the end.
Stop joking around! Where did you take my...
I have also. Maybe she'll appear behind.
Is he trying to... You knew we were... As for Fremine,
There was no need to.
you removed our original
One correction. Lynette.
He's not. What do you...
Oh, wonderful. Everyone is here, so I'll only need to say this. Eager and to the point, I see. Although,
Wait. You locked him out.
I closed the.
No, we're...
But why would I do this? You may
Sorry
be
for
asking.
this. The
To have an
previous...
audience. Besides, I do
previous-
recall
So,
some of
thing
my
is,
folks.
had
I was
to
willing to
stop
play Mr. Linney.
streaming
You
a
need do,
while
but
ago.
you want to see Father...
Well,
This is the continuation of
I've
it,
heard
and
that
I
the
was in
bonds
middle of
Why did you
this
think Father sent us to...
oh,
cutscene.
I see. So it's because she
Or
doesn't
this
care for my
line of
place
dialogue.
here. That's such a shame.
Was this the...
There.
Mr. Linney.
For now, I'm just gonna skip it.
Instead of I gave you a warning, Mr. Fremine. 6,
Wait,
2, time's up. Negotiations have broken down. Please.
There, I lowered the volume of the game for a bit right now. If you want to check what happened between all of this, you can watch the end of my previous stream where I abruptly ended. Oh. Excuse me. I'm a bit full, so I can't think straight for the meantime. So, what else was this? From what I know. And then the last one is... Huh? Oh, never mind. I picked the wrong clue. I'm gonna return the volume of the game once you got to the part where I left. Okay, so now it's about the Fonta. Wait, did I pick the right choice? Oh, okay. And... Is it this one or did I... Yeah, and then this one. Huh? Oh, I misreplaced them. Okay. So as this whole sequence is dedicated to us solving like the 3 hidden rules. Yeah. Okay. I think we're at this part. Yeah, I think we're at this part. There. I hopefully the game volume is now okay or normal.
Stop your cruel and pointless games, Risley! You know that we haven't finished our investigation, so there's no way we can answer the last question. The thought of sparing Lynette and Fremine never even crossed your mind! You'll pay for this! Ah!
Oh shit, what happened?
Are you alright?
Oh, close one. I owe you, Siegeween. That was a fantastic shot.
It was nothing, Your Grace. Siegeween?
Or
Though
they're
this
putting
gun
this
may look like
kinds
a toy, it's actually fully
artworks,
functional, as I just demonstrated.
Siegeween... You...
Not at at all. I am merely a resident of the fortress, and thus protecting it is my duty. When Monsieur Nervulet asked me to come here, he told me that my job would be to take care of the well-being of everyone here. I am merely discharging my duties.
But if you mean what you just said, then isn't Linny someone you should be looking after as well? Isn't he a resident here just like the rest of us?
But I really am just doing what Monsieur Nervulet told me to do. Everything I did, I've done to protect them. Had I not, they would be in far more dire straits right now. His Grace knows it too, right? Your Grace? Mind proving my innocence to them?
My dear Sigewinne, whatever shall I do with you? Would it have killed you to just wait another minute or two?
Well, it's nearly time after all. The way you do things can be truly frustrating sometimes, Your Grace. I figured I should try to talk some sense into you.
What are you talking about? What time?
Take me if you want. But let them go.
How touching. Can you just give me one more minute?
Don't be like that, Your Grace.
All right, everyone, calm down. 2 more visitors will be
Oh,
arriving
okay.
any time now.
So I'm guessing it's them.
I'll go get a cup of tea. Miss Sigewinne, I leave Miss Lynette in your care.
You... What are you doing?
I believe I hear footsteps.
Some space, please.
Wait,
Ah, Miss
Clorinde?
Clorinde. My door.
Fremine... Fremine!
oh shit, that's actually some.
What's going on? What is Clorinde doing here?
Work.
I'm sorry about shooting you, Mr. Linney. The tranquilizing effect will begin to wear off soon. Please take it easy in the meantime, though.
What happened to Fremine? Wasn't he diving just outside of the fortress? Why is he looking like...
A flushed face, an accelerated pulse. He must have consumed primordial seawater.
Wait, what?
What did you say?
Please, make some space. I'll need to give Mr. Fremine a more thorough checkup. Your Grace, I'll leave the rest to you.
I'll talk to Clorinde while you get Fremine to where he needs to be. Everything else can wait.
What's going on?
What's that look on your face? I thought I made good time on the way back.
Oh, I'm just admiring your punctuality. Had you arrived just a few minutes later, Sigewinne may have been forced to shoot Mr. Linney again. How's the situation out there?
The water has changed. It's pretty much as expected. The concentration of primordial seawater has increased significantly. I was only out there a short time, so it wasn't too bad. But if one were to stay for any significant amount of time... well, you can see how that boy's doing.
Where was he when you found him?
The abandoned zone at the end of the pipes. A good distance into the water.
Closer than I thought. He must have recognized it early on and tried desperately to swim back.
Locking the door was necessary. I don't think we could have saved two.
Well, I did try to convince him that I had my reasons. Never seems to work, though.
It would probably work on Neuvillette. He has a knack for picking out who had good intentions, even when the outcomes were all terrible.
It's a bad sign if you're having to plead your case to Neuvillette. Want some tea?
Not particularly. If you want to drink some that badly, just say so.
What's his deal with tea? He keeps on mentioning
Fine,
this.
I'd like to get some tea. Want me to get you a cup too, since I've already made it?
Might as well then, I suppose. Actually, do you have a towel? I would like to dry my hair.
No, girl, your hair looks pretty fine. Okay, but to be honest though, I kind of feel bad for the siblings. I feel like they got bullied in all of this. Bad. Oh yeah, I guess they're just doing their duty, but come on. How could they just leave Freminute out there? Okay, anyway, let's continue.
How is he?
They These symptoms are probably caused by an acute ingestion of a large amount of primordial seawater. Still, his condition is not critical.
Why
Of course,
is he not?
it would be best if he stayed for further observation. Let's leave him here for now, and move him to the infirmary once he's recovered a bit more.
Wait, if he ingested primordial sea, why didn't he turn into water? Is he not from Fountain?
Sorry. I am aware that the
I
infirmary
miss
may
some
not be
lore
your
bit?
favorite place in the world at the moment. We do only have a single clinic in the fortress, however.
Why would he ingest a large amount of primordial seawater after leaving the fortress? How could that possibly happen?
Please, look after Mr. Fremine for the moment. I'll go fetch some medicine and a respirator. Oh, I'll bring Miss Lynette back with me.
Where is she? How is she right now?
Oh, she just took a nap in an empty room after I tranquilized her. If my calculations are correct, she should also be waking up right around now. You might not believe me, but His Grace and I actually made some snacks and tea for her.
Okay, I kinda get that they're not really malicious. They're just kinda doing what they had to do. I'm talking about Weasley and Laurent or whoever else is involved in this situation. But like, given that Lini has a trauma, regarding his sister getting kidnapped and all, like, this is kinda messed up. I mean, they might have not known that that's something that the siblings have gone through, but still, I can't help but feel like this is a bit scummy on Weasley's part. Damn. Oh yeah, I guess. I just kind of feel, I feel like I'm more on the sibling side as of now, even though they're Fatui and all, and they can be a bit of an active threat in Fontaine right now.
Linny, are you okay?
I'll be fine. They're all here now. Don't worry about me.
Are you sure? You don't look alright.
My hands and feet are still a bit weak, but that's probably just the residual effects of the tranquilizer shot.
I'm back, everyone.
Lenny! Oh, Traveler, Paimon, you're here too. Fremine?
He'll be fine. But for now, please help me lift him up.
His breathing's beginning to slow down.
Give me a hand and help me get him to the infirmary.
Yeah, I'll take him from this side. Lynette, together?
On it.
Traveler, you seem pretty worried about him. Want to come with us?
The Duke and Clarande are gone.
They probably went to get some tea. The Duke will explain the truth in just a bit. Miss Clarande will need a break, since she only just returned from rescuing Fremine out of the sea.
Where is it? It's in here. Darn, it's... Oh wait, didn't I? Okay, I teleport at the right place. Okay, but yeah. To me, it kinda made Grizzly a bit more unlikable. It just kinda leaves a sour taste. Is that how you say it? It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah. I mean, he couldn't have known, but at the same time, we're talking about Linus' trauma of, getting his sister abducted. And that trauma is basically the part of how this whole plan worked in the first place, by exploiting his fear.
He's awake. Fremine, how do you feel?
Lynette.
We're all here.
Where am I?
The infirmary, at the Fortress of Meripede, Mr. Fremine. And you are no longer in any danger.
How do you feel? Don't push yourself if you're not feeling up to it.
Traveler. Paimon. It's been so long. The sea. There's something wrong with the seawater.
Shh, it's okay. We can talk about it after you've recovered.
No, listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular seawater. I don't know why it's there, but no one should touch it. Pipes. Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now.
Okay, what's supposed to happen now?
I'm in. Seems like this pipe hasn't been used in a long time. It looks abandoned. Where could Master Child be?
Oh, I'm playing Femine. Cool. Wait, what weapon is he using?
This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it?
I wonder what will happen if I just drop it. Okay. Never mind. Sometimes I wonder what's up with this engineering outside of just being a puzzle. Like, is it canon that in this world people are just like, oh, let's make some complicated mechanism that goes around and up and down and twist and turn? So what am I supposed to do then? Oh,
Yeah.
there's a way here.
It's getting stuck on something. Seems like I'll have to avoid those obstacles while I turn it. Tch.
Huh? Why does it get me stuck to?
Hup.
Below? Huh? What's going on? Let me what am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
Oh, and there am I supposed to
Yeah.
then rotate it? Okay. It's weird because I already managed
Yeah.
to jump there. Then again, I kinda cheat.
Yeah.
You know.
Tch. Yeah. Huh. Tch.
Oops. What did I not do? Or was I not supposed to do it?
This is where the water starts. Okay. Master Child probably dived into the water. I'll go take a look as well. The vegetation here is a bit more sparse. These traces aren't natural. A person must have left them, and recently. I should be going in the right direction. There are traces here too. I need to keep going. Huh? The traces are gone. But I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait. What the? My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. What's going on? No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it.
That sucks. I wonder what would happen if we die, but I don't wanna.
I can't die here. This is bad. I'm feeling worse and worse, and I'm still underwater. I have to push on.
So, in other words, the trail you were following vanished, and you had no idea where Master Child could have gone. But there was also no obvious place for him to have disappeared to.
That's right. I tried my best to swim back, but I had already put some distance between myself and the fortress, and I just couldn't find the strength to keep going. I probably passed out some time after that, and you know the rest.
Miss Clarande brought you back, but we also don't know why she just suddenly appeared at the fortress, or why she went out to save you.
Miss Clarande, you say? I must go thank her in person.
You're still too weak, Fremine. You can go after you've had some more rest.
Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss Clarande will stay here as a guest for another few days, so there's no need to hurry.
A guest? Then I can assume Risley was the one who invited her to come down here?
You should ask His Grace about that. He'll be able to explain better than me.
Yeah, it's about time he actually told us what's going on. Wanna come with us, Liddy?
No, please go on without me. I don't want to leave just yet.
Lenny,
The logical part of my brain is aware that we're safe right now, but I still can't bring myself to leave. Both of you are just in danger.
Valid.
understood. Then let's just sit together for a while.
In that case, I'll leave the infirmary to you. The Traveler and I are going to head out for now. As long as you stay in here, I don't think you'll be disturbed.
Thank you.
Oh, this is nice. They're just having a sibling moment.
I'm so sorry, Lenny.
I'm also really sorry, Lenny. I should have been more careful.
Don't say that. It was all my fault. I was the one who should have been more careful. You two were nearly...
If I was stronger, maybe I would have already found Master Child.
No, how can you say that?
Huh?
I'm sorry.
What I'm hearing is, we all dropped the ball at some point during the mission. So the responsibility falls on all of us. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right. It's on all of us.
Lenny, we understand that you're worried about us, but we're worried about you as well. Please don't blame yourself. We want you to keep your spirits up.
Yeah.
Sorry, but look at the difference between like the shoe size or the boots between Lini and Lynette. Like Lynette's boots are so small, and then boom, Lini's are so big. It's so weird when you compare the models together. Aw. Take care.
By royal
Here,
decree.
I have a bird to watch over you. I'll go have a talk with them. And actually, Florence in the clear. At least she saved Remy on time. Oh, oops.
Excuse me?
I take it Mr. Fremine's condition has stabilized?
Of course. I wouldn't have left the infirmary otherwise.
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire as to the purpose of your visit, Miss Siegewien?
I wanted to check up on Miss Clarande. How are you feeling?
Mostly fine, I think.
If you don't mind, I'd like to perform another quick physical exam. It'll just take a few minutes.
All right. Thank you for looking out for me.
Well, want to explain yourself, Risley?
Of course, but I'm not partial to the word choice of explain. How about enlighten? Where should I begin? How about you start by asking me any questions you have? You can start with whichever one you'd like to get answered the most.
Then Paimon will begin. did you know about Lenny's goals from the very beginning?
No. I just knew they were Fatui operatives sent to the fortress by the Knave. As for their specific goals, I only figured those out as you made progress on your investigation.
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them even though you didn't know what they were trying to do?
They came here with ulterior motives. I'm quite adept at discerning what that kind of behavior signals. Initially, I thought their goal was just to investigate Child's disappearance. Linny suggested that I had deliberately let him escape, but in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him while he was here. Everything he did, from finding helpers to leaving this place, he did on his own. Of course, it's inevitable that the Knave would make a big deal out of her fellow Harbinger's unexplained disappearance. I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went, so I figured I might as well let the Fatui do their own investigative work. All I care about is the answer.
So you were hoping Lenny's group would just do your work for you?
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. I assume that Fremine has told you already, the ratio of primordial seawater around the fortress of Meripede is on the rise. The Forbidden Zone has always been Linny's target, and you got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety, and also to prevent the fortress from becoming entangled in more irksome matters.
Are the rumors true? That you're also a former criminal?
Now, why would you put it like that? Isn't staying here all day and serving as the manager of the fortress a kind of sentence unto itself? Another form of prison? I just happen to have some support from the rest of the inmates. That's all.
Oh, right. Paimon wanted to ask, who invited Cloran down here?
Me, of course. I paid her good mora to come down to the fortress for some field work. As a champion duelist, Miss Cloran could be considered to be an independent party. I needed to find an exceptionally capable person to help me get through the impending crisis.
And saving Fremine was part of that crisis?
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept at diving. Had conditions not been as hostile as they were, he probably would have found the missing Harbinger already. That's not something you should be asking after. Neuvillette only asked you to investigate Child's whereabouts. All I need to prove to you is that the Forbidden Zone had nothing to do with the Harbinger's disappearance. That should be clear now that you've spoken to Fremine.
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary, and we've answered a bunch of questions that you threw at us. Isn't it about time that you answer our last question in return?
Yeah, actually, and we still haven't found out where Child is. We literally need every information we can get. We can't really trust him in his words that the Forbidden Zone has nothing to do with it. Even if ultimately it really doesn't, you know?
You make a compelling case. Do you really want to know the answer that badly?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
Paimon really
something
wants to
stupid.
know.
Even if the truth may not be pleasant? Follow me.
Oh, okay. Maybe it is something serious. Oh, frick. Oops, I keep pressing the wrong button. There's so many secret doors.
There's a hidden door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, Risley.
It seems you've forgotten just what kind of place the Fortress of Meripede is. Stand on the central plate.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or... Whoa! So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, Paimon sure doesn't see anything special. What a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed to go inside. Hence the name Forbidden Zone. Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little Fatui friends everything?
Well, keeping anything from them?
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole truth of this place for yourself before deciding whether or not to tell them.
Okay.
Huh. So there's a switch on the side.
Stand back.
Whoa! They all just went up one by one.
Go on, have a look. I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent to simply ignore any potential danger that could be behind it. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past year, the needle has crept upwards from its original position, likely because some parameter it's been tracking has changed, if only infinitesimally. Normally, I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Any guesses what the reading could be tracking?
Primordial Sea.
Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those as well. Unfortunately, our dashboard is tracking something less ordinary. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests to increase the pressure from the outside, but the readings didn't change at all. Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the Primordial Sea. I began to make a few preparations based on that hypothesis. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that, and the symptoms that Fremine displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now confidently conclude that the readings represent the concentration of primordial seawater in the seawater nearby.
The concentration of primordial seawater? But we're already under the sea!
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, primordial seawater got mixed in, and the concentration is steadily rising.
Oh shit.
Yes, that's very likely.
But forget about the two of us. Not even Neuvillette knows where the primordial sea could be, much less where we could find and plug a leak. Oh.
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate.
Oh.
For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly, and it's now very close to us. The indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us. If this continues, soon it will no longer be able to hold back the primordial sea at all.
And if the Primordial Sea is leaking through, if this gate falls, all of Fontaine will fall with it. Oh shit.
Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone in Fontaine will be turned into puddles in the span of a night.
That's an interesting scenario actually. Oh, this whole quest is, or this whole Fontaine quest has been a mystery thriller. I think I've said that before, but yeah.
But that's just too weird! Why would the Fortress of Meripede be built right above a sluice gate for the Primordial Sea? Who built this place anyway?
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated conspiracy. To be honest, you might find the actual answer may be exceedingly boring. It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meripede in any traditional sense. What we know about its history has been left to us by the people who used to live here. When the previous Hydro Archon, Egeria, ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals away like a wolf pack chasing away the banished. The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where they experienced only pain, struggle, and the bone-chilling cold. Some of them began to repent and pray to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. the Hydro Archon took pity on them and said, "You may go guard my secret, deep underneath the waves."
Oh, okay.
And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began to build a fortress. They became a community down there in the deeps, and over the years helped it to grow. As the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. When the first group of exiles died, they left the yet unfinished fortress to their successors. The Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever larger. Before long, this dark underwater fortress became the Sinner's only home. And with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as repenting sinners who would regain their freedom once they had sufficiently redeemed themselves. But as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had gotten used to life here, they could no longer feel comfortable living in the overworld. Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls fade away with the ancient secrets of the past. After many, many centuries, few people still remember the reason for the fortress's founding. Now they just see it as an integral pillar of Fontanian society, as the place where criminals deserve to be sent. Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress. I learned all this from an elderly historian. Everyone else just thought he'd made it all up.
But now you know every part of that history is true.
Indeed. It's just as the prophecy says. If this gate fails, then everyone will be dissolved into the sea. To be frank, not really. But sadly, that hasn't stopped this prophecy from proving all too accurate. Prophecies are troublesome things. Just hearing one will create the first wave of panic. Seeing signs of it will bring about the second, and actually witnessing it in real time, the third. Let's go somewhere else. I want to show you something. This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing.
it's them.
The results from our last round of experiments have...
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone.
Huh? Lorvine and Jurier?
No need to panic, you two. I've already told them about our plan.
What? After you warned us not to tell a single soul about any of this?
I'm skeptical as well. Are you sure they are trustworthy?
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could ever imagine.
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
Well, how about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin. I trust that you've heard of Edwin?
And who? Sorry.
He's the one who blew the whole institute sky high. Everyone knew he was a bit crooked in the head, but you're not local, so I guess it's possible for you not to have
Is it
heard
like
of
the
him.
cubes in this?
Edwin's main areas of research were archaeum and gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier is quite familiar with them as well. I hired him to be my technical consultant.
You want to blow up the fortress of Meripede?
What a lovely idea. I'm already imagining it in my head.
What the fuck?
Gotta admit, I'm tempted as well.
People
Guys,
live
focus!
here.
Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to be Jurier's assistant.
She literally said, "Boys, don't think about blowing things up." Oh my god.
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and just using your work as a convenient cover?
Your Grace, I am not in a relationship with this man.
If I dated her, I'd officially be madder than Edwin.
Jeez, forget I said anything then. Follow me.
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
Yeah. Oh my god. someone
Everything's super
acknowledged it.
cool.
It's so cool that people will die. Come on, Paimon.
Well, let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
Excuse me?
What a huge ship? This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before. What's going on?
What, are they planning to build like a ship and then that's gonna be the whole fountain? Like everybody just... Like, have you heard of Titanic, Weasley? If one iceberg were to drop, then everybody will go to the primordial sea and drown.
How much do you know about Fontanian history?
Not much at all.
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria. To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty. According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by
This looks so
divine
cool.
revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he created his nation above the surging waves.
Oh, sorry, let me read it again. According to the legend, the Romero king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation, and found Seer Sibilla, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he created his nation above the surging waves. So
He called his nation Lemuria,
yeah.
and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling on them to join his empire.
There's a ship in this story too?
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the end of a voyage.
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. Certainly can't hurt to give it a try. So the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea might lie underneath the gate, I also began this project.
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
Maybe. Fontanians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster. Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a reckless call.
Yeah.
Alright, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Do you have any other questions?
This dude's keep on talking about tea.
Seems like you're good. Come on, I'll take you back.
This is crazy. Fountain's stories
I'll leave you here for now.
becoming more and more whimsical.
Thank you so much.
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw. What you do from here on out will likely affect those 3 as well.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for sure.
Great. I look forward to what happens next.
We're back!
Welcome back. Do you want a cup of tea?
How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea?
Oh my god, we're so sick of tea now.
Actually, now that you mention it,
Or
I
at the
just
time when
remembered
I'm-
something now. While I was sedated, I could still barely hear 2 people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves to the water and even the teacups themselves.
Must have been Risley and Seishween.
Yeah, I heard 1 male voice and 1 female, so it should have been the 2 of them. They really were just talking about brewing tea.
I really can't make sense of this place.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn anything from Risley?
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations? Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now.
Nobody else is around, and Miss Sijuin is also busy with something or other. So let's just talk here.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is, the long-lost primordial sea is probably very close to the fortress of Mirapede.
Ooh, he's good. He got that right on the first try.
That's our Lenny.
Secondly, Wriothesley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why? I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, he probably ignored us at first because he was hoping we could find Master Child for him. What's more, the Fortress of Mirapede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Nervulet. Wriothesley is basically the king of a no-man's land. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the 2 factions are pitted against each other, Wriothesley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
You're super smart.
Thanks so much. Then finally, there's the last question. If Wriothesley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan probably has something to do with the changing nature of the seawater. He's even gotten Cloran to help him out. That can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bargaining chip, and it could be important enough for Father to deal with him directly. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what his chip might be. But let me guess. You have the last piece of the puzzle.
I can't believe it.
The sea will engulf everyone. Just like the prophecy said.
Could Wriothesley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to deal with this crisis? If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she truly wants to resolve the crisis. But how could Wriothesley have known that?
Or perhaps he didn't know, and just wanted to bring Father over to his side? Which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our father. No matter what, we're on your side. The 2 of you have already aided us far too much. We probably wouldn't be standing here right now if not for you. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to the House of the Hearth at any time. Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together, the 3 of us basically see you as family now.
You have my gratitude.
Thank you for protecting Lenny when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us. We didn't think you were going to do it.
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden?
Given your strength, you might not need our help at all. But if you are ever in danger, we will try our best to protect you.
Aww, the sound of that makes Paimon feel all warm and safe inside.
And hungry.
Paimon's hungry.
Oh, you've done so much already. Go get some food.
Alright, then we'll catch you guys another time.
I feel like I should try to become someone more capable of helping.
You're incredibly helpful. Lenny thinks so too.
Yeah, you 2 are always telling me not to push myself, but aren't you just like that as well?
What did they say again?
You're incredibly helpful.
Yeah, You two are always telling me not to push myself, but
It's time for dinner. Welfare meals now being served in the coupon cafeteria.
Come on, let's go pick up ours as well.
Traveler and Paimon, over here.
Are you here for dinner too, Miss Sijwin?
Mm-hmm. And I'm taking the opportunity to prepare Miss Cloran's dinner as well.
Huh. You're right. She's actually sitting in the fortress cafeteria.
What would you like to eat? Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd
Mr.
like.
Wolsey.
Me too. Don't.
No problem. Just leave it to me.
So delicious. Is this how it feels to be freeloaders? Wait a second. We did do plenty of work after all.
Paimon,
Feeling
you're
full yet?
feeling
How's the food?
Delicious.
I'm so glad to see you all so happy. Oh, see, the expression on your face just now? The muscle here just moved, which suggests that you're feeling quite relaxed at the moment.
Sijuin, stop being creepy. Not you.
Sijwin, do you do this to help your patients or to better understand human beings?
A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melazine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take good care of you.
You're really good at taking care of people. Even though you're so short, you still talk and act like an older sister.
Isn't that body shaming, Paimon? Come on now.
Really? You're reminded of an older sister? That's great to hear.
Oh, and what did you mean back in Risley's office? When you said that you were protecting Linny and his siblings as well?
Oh, that. I just asked His Grace to look out for those children, especially that diver boy. I was getting a bit worried after hearing that something was wrong with the water. Thankfully, Clorand is very strong and managed to save him in the nick of time. His Grace also sealed the pipes after Clorand left, to make sure that Linny wouldn't impulsively chase after his brother. Although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They were instructed to only open the door once Miss Clorand had returned. Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Linny as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't allow him to be in any real danger.
You were all super considerate and really thought everything through.
It's just what we do down here at the fortress. At least this has been His Grace's style for as long as he's been the leader. Oh, I really wish Monsieur Nerville would come down here more often too. I feel like he'd like it here, with all the darkness and chaos.
I don't think anybody likes that.
Get a good night's rest, you two. You both worked very hard.
Where's Clorand? I wanna talk to Clorand. Hey.
Clorand!
Ah, it's you two.
How's dinner?
It's all right. Miss Sijwin really put in a lot of effort.
So we heard that Risley invited you to come down to help, and you saved Fremine too! You sure work super fast!
Oh, it was child's play.
Still, Paimon didn't know even champion duelists could take on side jobs. Oh, and why aren't you eating with Sijwin and the Duke? Won't you get bored eating by yourself?
Miss Sijwin was with you, and the Duke has business of his own.
Actually, didn't Navia say that you went out for dinner with her as well?
Yeah. First time in a long time.
First time in a long time? So you mean you've gone out to dinner with her in the past?
In the past, yes. You seem to be enjoying yourselves here. Things will be getting messy at the fortress soon. Don't run around unnecessarily.
Is there more? What's gonna happen?
So much has happened. Paimon just feels absolutely exhausted now that she's finally relaxed. Paimon's super sleepy. Are you sleepy too?
It's so weird to see her not floating at all. She looks so good for sleeping.
Delicious. Paimon wants seconds for free.
Out of my way! Get out of my way!
What's happening?
What happened? Why is everyone running? No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Who's yelling? Paimon still wants to sleep.
Oh shit, what's going on? Shit's about to go down. What's happening? Don't come near me, I have a gun.
What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye.
Hey, wait! What's wrong with these people? They won't even talk to us.
They're here! Yeah! There you are!
Oh, thank goodness!
Okay, I actually like that I've seen these two again. They're
We
pretty
still have our
entertaining.
own. Do you know what happened here?
Yeah. What's the scoop? Tell us
We
the
came
tea.
here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong just now. His Grace is telling everyone to evacuate and get out of here. Laveroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully completed, yet you only find out once you do a head count that 1 or 2 people are missing.
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up? Why is it suddenly my idea?
Hey, shut up!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us.
Oh my god, like just their voice alone gives them this comedy duo vibe.
Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible, upwards and outwards.
What's going on?
Oh no, it can't be that thing!
Whoa, wait, what? What? Hey, where are you going?
We have to go find the Duke! You two just go and get out! Go on without us!
Hey, hey! Be careful!
Attention! Please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible.
I like those guys. This is intense.
They're here.
Just like I said.
We have it!
Oh shit.
You're just in time. But be ready to run.
CJ, wag ka tumingin, spoiler to. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is the
3, 2, 1.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Oh shit. That was intense. What the fuck? Not they realize it. Throughout the whole Archon quest, we haven't really had any cutscenes.
Neuvillette, why are you here?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately.
What is also
Farina
problem
will
there?
soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her.
Okay.
Will do. You have my sincerest
It's
gratitude.
like everything's just going to shit. Holy fuck. Farina. Okay, now I see the Fatulis.
Look, there are a ton of Fatui and Palais Mermonia people over there. The knave is probably here already. We need to hurry.
Are you two the traveler in Paimon? Monsieur Neuvillette has left instructions. Please follow me. Though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be a mostly cordial conversation, unlikely to give rise to violence. But it would be most appreciated if you could protect Lady Farina to the best of your abilities.
Okay. Wait, another cutscene? Or no? Yeah.
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Of course, of course. How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise, the occasion would be too lonely and unbecoming of my station.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments.
Finally met her.
I am the Knave, one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers.
I've already prepared seats for you. Come, sit beside me.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only 16 slices sold every day. Here, why don't you and Paimon have a taste?
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with Farina and I. I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know. Here's to hoping that he's an excellent swimmer.
I have learning disabilities.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really looked certainly pretty impressive, yeah.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Udex Nuvillette right in front of you. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. I must express my admiration for Monsieur Nuvillette. Coming from you, that's not surprising at all.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Huh? Oh shit.
Of course,
Wait,
but it's
hold
still a
on.
bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier. As you well know, a long time has passed since Child disappeared.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame, you see.
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still alive.
Oh, and just how do you know that?
Because we found evidence that proved he left the Fortress of Mirapede.
And where did he go after leaving the fortress?
Well...
The Fortress of Mirapede lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Do you have any proof that he surfaced safely? Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was unfortunately unavailable, I picked it up on his behalf. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together. I'm currently admiring the scenery on the streets in front of the Opera House. Is it something like that?
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate, it doesn't matter so much how it's written or how it's worded. Huh?
Excuse me, what?
Hold on. The water in the teacup is shaking.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come, Miss Farina.
Huh? I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
Okay. Here we go.
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
It's so cool to see the three of them in the same scene, in the same room. believe that it's also part of the Archon list.
A day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day! This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe. This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
What's going on?
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Let me guess. We're safe for now.
Indeed. But only for now.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
What? Let me guess.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal codices.
That was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Mermonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
I like that they have like characters interacting now, because usually characters kind of feel like they're not connected at all to each other in the previous, at least at the start of like
I must
the
say,
game.
we've spent long enough playing house. Miss
No,
Farina,
yes.
as the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I
I'll continue
say,
later.
that's what I originally thought. But looking at your expression, was I wrong? And you haven't a clue?
What are you trying to say?
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontanian. You know the prophecy by heart, and also that every part of it is being proven true. Yet, here you are, relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you really think that's acceptable? The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Hearth have devoted everything to saving their homeland. But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures!
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me. Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high.
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will only reveal themselves at the fated time. It is just that beings like yourselves are unable to perceive them as of yet.
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal eyes. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as your emergency response plan for the impending disaster?
An emergency response plan?
Oh, that look in your eyes. Have you not even prepared one of those?
The emergency response plan is also strictly confidential.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, it would seem that someone is not you, Miss Farina. I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the Oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on, oh great Hydro Archon? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Neuvillette is not at the tea party with us today. Miss Farina, I suppose you must have ordered him away to take care of some troublesome business.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it a secret for me.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side.
Oh, we're just
Oh,
gathering
very
it
well.
now.
Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourselves, everyone. Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard deserve gratitude and praise. You too, Paimon.
Thank you. Paimon will take you up on that offer.
It has poison, doesn't it?
Paimon's super full.
No,
that
not
cake
poison.
was
It
great.
has a sleeping ingredient in it.
If it's on
Then we
my
wake up
tea
and then
table,
Farina is
it
gone.
must be of the highest quality. Yes, and we must thank the knave for bringing these over as well.
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table. And I was merely catering to Miss Farina's tastes, seeking a chance to chat over tea. It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day? There are still a few matters that I need to take care of, so I must take my leave now.
Very well. We'll end it here.
Mind seeing me off, Traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss Child before I must be on my way.
Paimon's coming too!
Farina, how are you? Are you okay?
The tea party turned out to be even more difficult than I'd imagined. Why are you looking at me like that? Is something the matter? If there's nothing urgent, then I shall be retiring for now.
Kind of feel bad for Farina. Feel like she's just a kid who has no clue what's going on. Kinda like, I guess kinda like Raiden and Kusanali. They're not, cause they're not the original Archon. They're kinda new to this. But even so, they kinda have to take on the challenge. Wait, where am I supposed to go? Oh. Oh. It just opens on its own. Opera Apiclus. Why do I have Traveler?
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's what Paimon thought.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like to express my gratitude. Do I look like an irresponsible father to you? The House of the Hearth is very important to me. You should know that I care deeply about my children. That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal settings. I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine are still there, and I trust their judgment and abilities.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop them. Especially Linny.
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others, including me. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Farina? You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the Fortress of Meripede.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused? Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any preparations?
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Farina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Oh? Come over here, you little critter, you! You dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Farina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, the bait is meant to be sacrificed. It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please don't kill me! I'm begging you, please!
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Farina dares not mention this incident to anyone. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Farina quietly cried alone. She was so scared that she could not sleep that night, nor could she even bring herself to eat her cake. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro Archon. Perhaps Iudex Neuvillette is actually the genuine article. I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please speak.
News from the Fortress of Meripede. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Ridesley.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a Harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert diplomatic pressure on the Fontaine authorities.
Okay.
Set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro Archon and Iudex Neuvillette.
I like how they're giving us context on how things went on. Yeah, it's just interesting. I still think that it's too early to say that Neuvillette is the true Hydro Archon. I mean, even before this patch, I already thought of that because, you know, his hair glows. I think at one point his hair glue. Is that the word glue? Glowed. It shined, okay? It shined when he punched Chad in the face. And that's a trait that only Archons have. I still think that, maybe Farina could be the Hydro Archon, but she's not yet the Hydro Archon. Maybe she hasn't touched in her... She hasn't been in touch with her powers yet. Is what I'm thinking. Because Nouvelle's kit right now, I mean from a meta perspective, like in a gameplay perspective, most Archons are supportive so that they can support like characters who are of the same element. Neuvillette is a Hydro DPS. I'd imagine that if there would be a Hydro Archon, it would be more supportive, and then it would be akin to a Hydro application, off-field, or it will be a representative of the Hydro element as a whole. Sorry for that tangent.
Oh,
I'm gonna play.
And I have an additional mission for you three.
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. With this as my excuse, I can ask for an official audience and continue my investigation of Farina and Iudex Neuvillette. The initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the Fortress of Meripede will be a front. Linny and his group will be responsible for the actual intelligence gathering. You should know the rest. Linny's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have hidden anything from you.
You attacked the Hydro Archon?
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even Farina herself is still pretending that nothing of that sort ever happened.
Alright then.
I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Iudex Neuvillette must be the Hydro Archon, but now, that doesn't seem right to me either.
You know, it's actually interesting because when a nation is in crisis in Genshin, it's usually the Archon, only the Archon that's like working towards it, to fixing it, or rather the peop, or rather at least another faction that is independent. But now they're making a point that it's actually multiple. There's the House of the Heart. There's the, but this is called the Fortress of Meropid. Like there's different people who are trying from different backgrounds who are trying to fix the crisis. Because in Inazuma, it's only the, I think the only other factions is the Kamisato clan and what do you call the faction Kokomi is in? I forgot. But yeah, either way, at least this time they actually make a point that it's not like one of them is only in control. Like every one of them is like trying to find their own solutions.
I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Eudex Neuvillette or Farina, neither fits the bill. It's hard to imagine either of them as the Archon. Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require justification. It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land of my birth. Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. It looks like Fontainians will have no choice but to save themselves. Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. Should the need arise, I would be happy to cooperate with you. You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday. He certainly returned quickly. You must want to catch up with each other, so I'll leave you to him.
Neuvillette, is it over?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. I'm concerned that sooner or later the prophesized events will occur. Thank you for protecting Farina.
Malapit na matapos.
To put it simply, I used my power to force back the Primordial Sea and reseal the sluice gate. So as expected, the Knave has turned up the pressure on Farina. She's trying to feel her out, though I'm still unsure as to her motives. Permission granted.
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon, right? But that's just a speculation on our part, though. You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about something else. We won't try to force you. You guys in Fontaine are super strange.
If by the phrase, you guys, you are referring to Farina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics. I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much grief and suffering. And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
Huh? Why is it raining all of a sudden?
It's raining.
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking? The dragon of... what?
Wow, I'm shocked.
Please do not be so surprised. Farina?
Neverlet! Neverlet, are you listening?
Ah, my apologies.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually the dragon sovereign of water, right? Well, if you don't want to confirm or deny...
Allegedly.
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Right, of course. We'll definitely help you keep it a secret. There's still something Paimon wants to ask you, though.
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
It's not that
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
There are 7 elemental archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental authority to me. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal with the prophecy.
Oh, so even you can't solve it.
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to discuss them with me at a later time.
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't we pay another visit to the Fortress of Meripede? Paimon is a little worried. We'll see you another time.
Take care.
I don't know who to pull to, Farina or Neuvillette. I like both of them. Oh, oui.
Now guess, what suit will this next card be?
They're just playing.
A bare teeth cat?
Well, well, look who it is.
Traveler, Paimon.
Hey, is it a bird-teeth cat though?
Hello, everyone.
Looks like you're recovering nicely from it, eh?
Mm-hmm. Thanks to everyone's support. Oh, right. I managed to work up the courage to thank Miss Clorand in person.
Whoa, how did she react?
She told me that it was nothing. It was as if saving a life wasn't a big deal to her at all. She also told me not to worry about it.
She didn't want to stress you out, that's all. She's right, and it's best not to dwell on it.
Yeah.
Okay, but check this out. We went back to the Opera House and we met the knave.
You met Father? Did she say anything to you?
She said a few things that were, a bit hard to understand. And also that she's looking forward to working with us in the future.
Her attitude towards you is even better than what we'd imagined. That's fantastic. You should believe her. She has her own way of doing things, and she'll do everything in her power to help those she considers close, which now might also include you.
Mm-hmm. Father is very capable, and also trustworthy.
Oh, Paimon just remembered that she thought Linny was a bit too proud as well. She said that you should learn how to rely on others sometimes.
Got it.
That does sound like something that Father would say.
Hey!
Are you going to stay here for the next few days?
Looks like it, yeah.
Excellent. I will host a tea party.
For real? Then Paimon wants another serving of cake.
Another implies that you were already served some delicious cake while you were up there. How lovely. Well, next time, you're going to have tea and snacks with us.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that we will just talk to important people, and at the very bottom will be Risley. So I made the right choice to go at the very top first. I want to talk to those two dudes that tried to come to us and warn us about the evacuation. Yes. So we do talk.
You guys are back?
Great.
Crystal! Macaroon!
You guys didn't get caught and thrown back down here, right?
Huh? No, not at all.
Ah, and here I thought you'd managed to escape from jail during all the commotion. I'd held you up as legendary jailbreakers, but now you're telling me you just never left?
We're sorry, but we just had some business to take care of.
All right. There's no need to get caught up in the details. We're just relieved to see you. He was super worried about you, you know.
Hey, it wasn't just me. Weren't you super worried as well?
Something like that, yeah.
This is how you make NPCs that are supposed to be your friend. I'm looking at you, Tepe. Oh my god.
I was
I'm
also
not gonna bring
transferred to
that
work
up.
in the kitchen a few days ago. I can still hear Quisto mumbling to the carrots. Are those two all right? Do you think they made it out alive? Whenever he'd say that, I'd tell him I'm sure they're fine. Wherever they are, they're kicking back with drinks in hand, enjoying the lovely scenery.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with worrying about your prison pals. Is there? I mean, considering how they always love listening to all my gossip.
These two.
Yeah,
They
they-
sure are a lot warmer and friendlier than when Paimon first met them.
No, they just outright say that they were just gossiping.
Oh, well, if you say so. I'll be watching you to make sure you finish every last bite.
We can have a farewell party, as in once we leave the prison. It's like a graduation. Yeah, so this really is. Oh no, it's the creepy kid, or rather the creepy Melzine. I don't want to talk to her. Okay, fine. I mean, she is nice, but still a bit creepy still.
Traveler! Paimon, you're back! Are you still doing alright? Did either of you get hurt?
We're fine, but
No,
what
we're
about
fine.
you guys? It was such a huge mess. How bad was it?
A few people sustained superficial injuries, but that's about the extent of the damage. Monsieur Nervulette paid us a visit. It was all thanks to him that we managed to suppress the crisis for the time being. Of course, we must also thank you for the help you provided.
How did Nervulette know that he was needed here?
Well, Monsieur Nervulette has strong resonance with the hydro element. When the water level rises, he can feel the waves produced. I ran into the bombshell bros while bandaging the injuries of the wounded. They were mumbling the whole time about how you just ran down without a word. I'm so relieved to see that you're both all right. If you're not too
bombshell
pressed for
bros.
time, please just let me know if you get a craving for
sorry.
any particular dish, so I can have Mr. Walsey get your meals prepared. Oh, and please feel free to visit the infirmary for a break at any time. I'd like to take the opportunity to spend some more time observing your facial muscles as well. Your happy smiles are quite contagious, you know.
No.
They're so memorable, and
I'll
I've
pass
missed them
on that.
immensely while you were gone.
I'm sorry, but like, oh wait, you can talk to me. Let me talk one last time to the bombshell bros.
Hey, why don't we have a meal with those two one of these days?
You want to cook for him yourself?
Why not? Good chance to show them what I can do.
Oops. Oh, sorry about that. Oh wait, it's down there. And this is Novelet when he was trying to go to run down the. Oh, look at that. Will we go here after in the next match?
Courier, Miss Sijwin told me you still haven't eaten.
Yeah, I was working on something, so I forgot.
That's no excuse for... Huh? What's you two?
They're dating.
We're back!
Hello there. It's been quite the mess here recently. How have you been?
And you? Are you still taking the secret passageway from the infirmary to work on the ship?
Yep. That is still top secret, though. So don't say a word to anyone.
Everybody.
It can be a bit annoying when there are lots of
they're
people
building
in
a
the
ship.
infirmary, but I still prefer taking that route over the one from the Duke's office.
I mean, the infirmary does make it easier for you to slack off.
Oh yeah? Then why are you also here so much?
You two really are just using your jobs as a cover for your relationship, aren't you?
Not at all! Courier, the rumors about us are literally everywhere now. Please do something about it.
But it's not like I caused them by myself. All right. I'll try to do something about it when I can find the time.
Do my eyes deceive me, or did I just see two inmates come back after making it to the surface? Some strange winds blowing of late.
We wanted to see how the fortress is doing. Is everything still all right?
We're fine, for the most part. Neuvillette came down and took care of the worst of it.
If that's the case, why don't you just ask him to stay here?
Oh, yeah, what
Yeah.
a brilliant plan. Let's go convince the Eudex himself to exchange the Courts of Fontaine for a puddle of water in the middle of nowhere. He came here in a hurry and left without even stopping for a cup of tea. He did remember to take Miss Sijwin's gift with him, though.
He sure sounds super busy.
Miss Clorand has left as well. She also took her gift from Miss Sijwin.
Were the gifts milkshakes?
Neuvillette got the milkshake. Clorand received lipstick instead.
Those aren't even remotely alike.
Well, it's Neuvillette's own fault for making Sijwin worried about his health by working so much. But besides that, our head nurse is still pretty fond of picking out beauty products for the ladies. Oh, and I have some gifts here for you as well.
Are these from Sijwin too?
Nope, they're from yours truly. You've already wrapped up your work at the fortress, so you can return to the surface at any time. You haven't yet served your full prison term, however, so you may continue to use your cell until your term is up.
For real? Then we could stay here for a really long time?
You may access the cafeteria for free.
Hooray!
Just remember to come complete your paperwork once it's time for your release. Your file can't be closed until we've completed your paperwork, so don't forget to come find me again when you're done serving your sentence.
skin. This place looks dope though. I mean, it looks uncomfortable, but what I mean is like how they modeled everything.
We're back in our cell again. We're no longer prisoners, though, so it really doesn't feel the same. Being free sure feels pretty special now. Huh? How did you know? Hey, that's not true! Alright. Okay, Paimon just wanted to say that we really are an amazing duo after all. It's like we've now gone to so many places together and become friends with so many people. We've never stopped traveling or stopped meeting new friends. There are so many bad things in the world, and we're just two people, but we've still been solving problems no matter where we go. Isn't that pretty cool? You're counting Paimon today? Aren't you the only adventurer here?
Being a guide counts.
Then let's ask Catherine to give Paimon an adventurer handbook as well. Paimon will also be an adventurer from today forward. Just our thoughts making Paimon giddy. Paimon's gonna crash, so you sleep soon too. The last time we fell asleep here, we woke up to a whole mess outside our cell. The primordial seawater nearly rose up. That was so scary. We should be safe now, right? Alright then, good night to you, traveler.
Good night. Screenshot. Oh, yo, we haven't seen Charlie. What's happening? That's the Hydro Archon. Damn. That was cool. I guess we're done. But Wesley said we should come back to him after the paperwork. Can we actually or not? Is he just kidding? Is he just kidding? Yeah, no, he ain't here. Huh, I guess we're done. Where should I go? Maybe I should go to the Palace Memorial. Is that what it's called? Palais Memorial. Opera Epicless. That was cool. So we have 165 at the sigil. Wonder how big we'll level up then. Level 20, hooray! And we got another key. And 2 pools. Intertwined fates. I'm really wondering how all of this will fall into place. And we reached the limit of the battle pass.
Water comes in many flavors. To the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is crisp and...
What else is there to see?
pure, while water from Liyue has an endure...
Oh wait, I'm sorry, I've already accessed that.
In Inazuma...
Oh yeah, we're getting a lot of posts today. And the cousin, the Spiral Abyss. I haven't done this. I've done this. Completed.
The water...
I mean, it was a cool Archon quest. Archon's considered. But although in contrast from before, where we got like a lot of like mystery solving stuff, this time we have a lot of lore similar to that of like scenario. Chelsea to Hydro Archon, but yeah. Still think he's just the Hydro Dragon Sovereign Water. Dragon Sovereign. Because the thing is, the statue still looks like for him. Maybe in like the final Archon quest in the next patch, that's when things will get more serious. And that, you know, all this all over. How many pulls do I have? 9. And my history is exactly 0. Yeah, I remember now. I have 60, 6, 7, 8, 9, 95. So 104. If we're lucky, we can get nicely. If not, then we'll try to have enough primos and pulls for free. And after that, I'll be satisfied if I get the 3 of them. I guess we're done for today. All I need to do is spend this on the boss so that I can finally level it to level 80. Okay. Before that, I think it's so much more nice to end it all in the morning.
I see value in my own work, but I also see the meaning in all...
Okay, nice.